Hello and welcome to Clone My Business. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to overcome common objections. And before I share some common objections, I'm going to list them all below. But I wanted to give you a few pointers on your mindset. So first, I've got to preface this with what I feel goes to the underlying psychology of this entire business. You and I are offering services that most smart business owners know they desperately need. So we're not selling them timeshares. We're not selling them some dopey vacation package that they don't need. We are offering them a clear-cut path to making more money in their own business. So they've got to see the need and they've got to have the budget. And if they don't, just move on. And remember what I said in the lesson about always speaking with the right prospect like 2 lessons ago? Maybe it's the last lesson. Well, you shouldn't have to talk anyone into buying your services. Once they see that you have the solution and they know, like, and trust you, they should want to sign up with you. I mean, besides, if you do manage to talk someone into your services, let's say you're really smooth, you've got your salesmanship is on point. If you try and talk them into it and they do sign up, they make for the worst clients. I promise, trust me. It doesn't matter. Don't waste your time. Remember, there's nothing more valuable than time, and don't waste your time speaking with someone who's not excited to be on the call, because there are plenty of people that will be excited to be on the call. So usually by the time I speak with prospects, whether they came in through a referral or my sales funnel, they've already been pre-sold to an extent, right? They, if it was a referral, obviously one of my clients told them about it. If it was the video sales letter and our sales funnel, then they saw the testimonials, the whole thing. So they've already been pre-sold. And then you add a powerful guarantee, like you add a powerful offer with a powerful guarantee on top of that. It makes it even better. And then add to the fact that you're driving new business online, which is something that they know they desperately need. And that's just why, generally speaking, I don't ever have to deal with any objections. Let me just talk about this real fast. Your offer. When your offer is good enough, especially when including a guarantee or money back offer, it takes away most of the common objection, or it takes away most of the most common objections, if that makes sense. So remember, you're prescribing here. You're the doctor. You're not pleading with them. You're not begging them to sign up. And if they're holding out for whatever reason, just remember that there are 100 other competing businesses in the very same city that do want what you're offering. So don't be afraid to pull back your offer. And again, like I said before, people will often feel FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, and then it drives them to take action. And every sales call for you is a chance to vet them as much as they're vetting you. You want to make sure that they are someone that you actually want to have as a client. That said, even on the nicest of phone calls, even with the most qualified prospects, some objections do come up. It's okay. Don't freak out. All you have to do is handle them in stride, knowing that you have the solution to their problems. You just need to help them see that. And I should note that you never want to sound arrogant or boastful in any way. I'm telling you to be the doctor and to prescribe, and be calm and cool and confident, but you never want to be boastful, right? Your job is to help the business owner, your client, in a partnership to make more money. You should have their best interest at heart. Just make sure that your tone is always supportive and helpful, while at the same time remaining confident in your own services and ability to help them. So when the objections come up, like I said, even with the most qualified prospects, smart business owners are going to have some questions, and you want to be able to talk through those, right? So I listed here one counter to rule them all. I don't even like calling it a counter because it makes it seem like you're fighting. Just one way to talk, right? So you simply say, "Hey, Jane, hey, John, I feel like maybe you're not totally in love with everything I've shared here. Remember, my ultimate goal is to help you hit your goal of, 10 new clients this month. But for clarity, what's happening right now? Like, how are you feeling?" Like, this is the thing that you say anytime you feel any kind of resistance. Like, if they're like, I don't know, then you can hit them with this. You just say, see how I said that? I shouldn't even say it like that. Hit them with it. Then you can present, you can share this with them. Remember, my ultimate goal, we're on the same team here. My ultimate goal is to help you hit your goal of, but for clarity, what's happening? Like, how are you feeling? what's not yet perfect about this, or what's not clear yet about this. And so, like, regardless of if they say, well, I'm just not sure about how much it costs, okay, maybe there's something that I've shared here that isn't totally clear. Let me help clear that up, or, whatever it is. But if you're in doubt on how to answer something, you can just turn it back on them and say, okay, like, what's really happening right now, And again, your tone is not arrogant or boastful in any way. It's always supportive and understanding. Remember, you're not there to get their money. You're there to help them make more money. It's an attitude shift. You're going into a partnership with them as a client to help them grow their business. So you want to be nice and respectful of them always. Besides, if you start fighting with a client, that's a lack of professionalism on your end. And if I were the client, I'd just hang up on you. It's not worth it. I've done that with prospects that I've gotten on the phone with. They're like, what's this all about? I'm like, well, you answered our ad. The offer was clear in our ad. Well, tell me what it is. Just tell me how much it costs. And it's like, I don't think this is going to work out. And I've hung up because I just don't have time for toxic people, right? So same thing. You don't want to be the toxic person. You want to be calm, cool, collected, understanding, and supportive, and hopeful to enter into a new relationship with this client. Okay. Some other questions to help find out more. What you really want to do is isolate the exact objection. So once you know the real objection, it's usually pretty easy to overcome. But sometimes you've got to dig a little to get to it. So you could say something like, well, John, we've still got 20 minutes on the call. To be clear, do you feel like I'm pressuring you into something? Or you could say, what's the worst case scenario here, John? You sign up, you give us a $500 deposit for this very first month. We get going. And then what's the worst case scenario? Well, we don't do what we said we're going to do. And that's what you've got the guarantee for. What's the best case scenario, John? Well, the best case scenario is we take your $500, get you started. And then a month from now, you have 10 new 5-star reviews, or you have 10 new booked appointments automatically put into your calendar, whatever that may be. Something led you to, well, Jane, something led you to take this phone call with me. What's the bigger challenge that I'm not seeing? My goal is to help you. What am I not seeing right now? Besides, another one is, besides it costs too much, is there anything else that concerns you about this offer? Or besides having bad experience with SEO people in the past, is there anything else that concerns you about with anything that we've discussed? And then, of course, anything else that's not clear. So you want to use all of these. So after you've clarified that they're all clear, that they're excited, then it's time to move them forward. Remember, the goal of every call is to always advance them to the next level. And in most cases, this means getting their credit card. And that's literally as easy as saying something like, great, John, let's get this started. We can rock and roll. What's the first 4 digits of your credit card? And then something I haven't done well because, again, like I said, this is not a sales call. This is a course, so it's pretty one way. I'm talking this entire time. But one thing that I should throw in here is that you want to be quiet. You want to take time to just shut up, right? So let's say, okay, Jane, something led you to take this phone call with me. What's the bigger challenge that I'm not seeing? And stop talking, right? So besides having a bad history with SEO companies in the past, is there anything else that concerns you about with what we've talked about on the phone call today? Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm kind of making a dopey point. But you get what I'm doing, right? Like, I am shutting up. I ask the question and then I shut up. If I keep talking, then I don't have the opportunity to listen to what's really going on. And all good relationships are built on good communication. And so you have to be able to understand where they're coming from, and you have to be quiet. So again, I feel kind of hypocritical because I'm doing so much talking. But again, this is a course and not a sales call. If it was a sales call, it would be much different. I would have asked you a handful of what I think are really good, open-ended, illuminating questions, and then I would have just listened to you. Okay, so hopefully that is clear. Down below, of course, put your questions and comments down below. And then if anything's not clear, let me know. But below this video is a list of some of the most common objections that I've seen and some possible answers to them. So be sure to go over them and say them out loud. And because Every agency is a little different. Like your agency, even if you're cloning my agency, it's still going to end up being a little different because of who you are and what you sell. So you want to make sure that you go over them. Make sure that you make them your own. Like use your words, use your vocabulary, the whole thing. And then practice them again and again and again. Practice them with a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, kids, whatever it is. Get a friend to go over them and practice them with you, because the goal is that it should sound like a natural conversation and not like you're reading from a script. So you don't want to be like, and going to this one, it's like, somebody says, I don't know, I just think it's too much. And then you're like, okay, too much. Oh, besides it being too much, is there anything else that concerns you about this offer? Like, you don't want to do that. You want to practice this so that it sounds like a natural, fluid conversation. Okay, so hopefully that's all clear. If it's not, ask me below, please. I promise I'm here to help you. You invest in this course. I want to make sure that you get a good return on your investment and that you get your agency started as fast as possible. So let me know, and I'll see you in the next lesson.